Kyle Deschanel, The Rothschild Who Wasn't, Part 4. In September 2021, Oxshott reportedly clinched a deal to lead the fundraising round for Bijou's Series F, which would bring in a total of $297 million. Regulatory filings with the Indian Ministry of Corporate Affairs show that the investment was the equivalent of $160 million at the time. A leading Indian business outlet, Economic Times, mentioned Oxshott several times in a 2021 article about the deal. That December, Reuters reported that Churchill Capital founder Michael Klein, longtime advisor to the Saudi Public Investment Fund and Aramco, was exploring a deal with Bijou's to raise $4 billion to take the company public via an SPAC valuing it at $48 billion. Those who knew him said that Deschanel exhibited outward signs of stress around this time. At the start of 2022, Donna described watching him make many phone calls with backers, often in Arabic. He took visits to Washington, D.C., telling her he was meeting with ambassadors, she said. There were a few very large Middle Eastern investors that he introduced to Oxshott, Stern said in his statement. He represented that these investors stemmed from his Saudi connections. Deschanel told people he looped in his sister at Citadel as legal counsel. He was working the phones non-stop. Brian, the source in finance, said that a number of investors turned him down, citing vaguely red flags. According to a New Delhi reporter for the Singapore-based financial blog, The Morning Context, the Bijou's board introduced a resolution in March 2022 stating that the LLC providing the funds would not be Oxshott, but a related entity called DRD Holdings. In emails, Kyle would sign his first full name as de Rothschild Deschanel. In July 2022, the outlet reported that the DRD Holdings Oxshott funds never made it to Bijou's. The company told the Morning Context that Oxshott had never been the lead on the investment round, but the allotted shares for the company were still outstanding. Donna said Deschanel seemed to be in constant conversation with his sister. At one point, Donna asked why he couldn't just have his family, whom he had time and again represented as institutionally wealthy, delusion, assertion, grandiosity, help him out. She said Deschanel told her that his family didn't like to use its own money on such deals when it could find outside investors' deflection. Deschanel's social acquaintances at the time said that he continued to party throughout this period. According to Donna, he turned up to her workplace after having been at an after-hours until dawn, residue in his nose, drug-taking, lack of accountability. He would spend time at the New Tao Group establishments at the recently opened Moxie Hotel on the Bowery, often hanging with Dylan Hales, who had been brought in to run the spaces. Little Ways was a particular favourite. In February, Hales co-hosted Deschanel's birthday party, where the guest of honour secured more than half the tables and invited hundreds to celebrate. According to the list on the invitation sheet, Leonardo DiCaprio RSVP'd no, saying, "Happy day, my guy, all love." A representative for DiCaprio did not reply to a request for comment. By early 2023, Bijou's announced that Oxshott had withdrawn from the funding round. Around this time, friends say Deschanel started to hit them up for cash, sense of entitlement, asking a person for $250,000 and promising a return within a week, promised gain. He put seamless charges on a girlfriend's card until she caught him and walked out of the house. Fraud, sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition. He used Tiny's credit card to pay for Ubers and run up tabs, sense of entitlement, lack of accountability. She confronted him. He denied it. Denial. First defense of the twin defenses of the narcissist. But she said, I knew it was him. You don't steal a credit card and go to Little Ways for a $500 brunch, which is his favourite place next to his house. And then I got the receipt, and it's his drink order. His fucking drink order, she said. The tab included 8 Aperol spritzes, oysters, steak and eggs, a burger, and 2 orders of Casamigos Blanco, with an extra charge to use liquor to make an espresso martini. Tiny clarified that the tequila espresso martini was his signature drink. He sent conspiracy-tinged text, paranoia, to friends about how he lost money or money got stolen from him. Pity play. So, I'm an idiot. I keep all my credit cards and password on a convenient page in the Notes app, and then I made a questionable romantic choice for the evening last month. I have tens of thousands of dollars in charges, he texted Evans. I hate myself. Pity play. Donna blocked all of Deschanel's numbers. She said she threatened to take out a restraining order after Deschanel continued to reach her via his Venmo account, hoovering. His purported sister, Gabrielle de Rothschild Deschanel, emailed to attempt a mediation. Donna Googled the name and found nothing. Reached for comment, a representative at Citadel said it had no record of someone with her name or variations of it ever working here. Is this Kyle? She responded. I know, this has to be Kyle. He would offer to Venmo friends for meals and drinks and never follow through, future faking. The house that cost $25,000 a month to rent fell into disarray. His relationship with Vitolo started to stray as well. Rumours circulated about him hitting up fellow patrons for cash, or even trying to take out a large loan by playing up his connection to the restaurant. Apparently, according to multiple sources, Deschanel hosted a dinner with several female companions, ran up a bill, and then he ditched, stiffing his fellow diners. Lack of accountability, absence of emotional empathy. Eventually, Vitolo figured out that Deschanel wasn't in his high school class. There was another guy named Kyle. In June, Vitolo said, I got better things to do with my life than talk about a fraud. In August, when presented with accounts of Deschanel attempting to use Emilio Balato to borrow funds, Vitolo texted, all false, but declined to elaborate. And there were certain instances that pierced through the once impeccably maintained aura of wealth that Deschanel cultivated in himself. One nightlife friend faced such a moment when he asked Deschanel for a ride back to the city from Montauk after a weekend at the Surf Lodge. He was driving. For a guy like him, supposedly with his lifestyle and whatnot, he was driving a very, very crappy car that was filled. When I tell you it was filled, dude, I'm talking about there would have been on the floor in the front seat 30 bottles of empty Diet Coke. The friend said it was a junkyard. There was shit in the back seat. It was disgusting. And he told me that it was his assistant's car. Lie. He told me that his assistant was an Orthodox, Hasidic. So throughout the car there were various Hebrew books and all that sort of shit. For Tiny, such moments were small. At first, there was a $12,500 check that Deschanel asked her to cash for him. It was signed by someone named Saki Dodelson of Lakewood, New Jersey. Tiny and a friend, we'll call Andrea, discovered online that Dodelson was the founder of an education company called Biable. LinkedIn revealed a woman in a white button-down shirt and blazer with droopy red earrings and eyeshadow. Deschanel said he was on the board of Biable and shrugged it off. Deflection. Thus, this particular narcissist is starting to exhibit that rampant sense of entitlement in the pursuit of residual benefit, namely money. That his lifestyle that he claims to be able to support is naturally based upon obtaining money from other people and doing so fraudulently. But his narcissism glitches here and there because there are gaps in it, as he's unable to maintain control over everybody as they start to suspect that something's wrong. We will, in part 5, learn more as his world starts to unravel. Join me there.